Hi, everybody. Hey, we are doing a dual live Facebook event. So Kika over here, Divine Kika, and I are doing it, and she's doing it on hers, and I'm doing it on...
We're
going to look a little...
computers.
Split personalities here, split website. And so we're talking tonight about 5 weeks to be a better lover. And it's a workshop or a series, a webinar series that we're going to be putting on, and we're going to be going through some of the secrets. So how did you end up becoming someone who basically is a world leader in helping men transform their relationship with sex and sexuality? So how did you, I'm going to interview you here, become a world leader?
Hi, Brad. Hi, everybody. Wow. It has been a long journey. Should I tell you my whole, how long do you want me to talk here?
We only have about 4 hours. No, like just 30, like what age did this whole journey start at?
What age? Wow. When I was 13 years old.
Uh-huh.
Oh, this is hard. This is hard to say. I don't think I haven't revealed that. That's like this. I'm revealing secrets about my private life now. So when I was 13 years old, I started my sexuality very young. I lost my virginity with the mayor. The mayor was 45.
And you were 13.
I was 13. It's hard to say it all. My heart is pounding.
Uh-huh.
This is. And I had a series, he was a nice influence in a way, but my vision, of course, at that time, I was too young. That was not right.
It could easily give you a very bad view of what men and sexuality is.
Yes, or I seek for power or money or take care of me, that kind of thing. And then later on, it resulted in a series of abusive relationships throughout my life where I didn't know how to respect myself, to honor myself. And I remember very, very radically, a day that it shifted. And it was like night and day, the day that I said no more. I was with, when I was ending the relationship with the father of my first son, I was about 27 years old, 26 years old. And I left the apartment. We were living together and we moved, and all day that man was so abusive to me, and he was saying all these things and he was yelling at me. He was just angry I was leaving. And my son was 2 years old. He was watching me going through this over and over again. And I have suffered so much in that relationship. I was here alone. I came to the United States for that relationship. I mean, that was a hard day. And I get into this apartment and we have no power. Right, like it finished, he's gone, and I'm saying, thank God I'm on my own. I now can start a new life, and I'm relieved that he's no longer yelling at me. But at the same time, I'm thinking about my new life, and I have this baby in front of me too. And my son was hungry, and he was 2, and he was looking at me, and then all of a sudden there was no power, and it turned night. And all my stuff was in boxes. I had no food, no money, nothing to feed him except my breasts. And I look at that baby and I said, you will never go through this again. You'll never see mom being abused. You never see mom goes through a difficult relationship and not have what you need to be safe and grow well. And I will never put myself through that. So from that day, I decided I would learn everything I could about loving sexual relationships, everything about sexuality, everything that creates a harmonious, happy, fulfilling relationship. And there was weeks later, I was in a Charles Muir seminar. And then it started, and this is a whole, I remember Jen Robson was the first. And then I went to this little one night, that was 1 hour. And all of a sudden I feel this fire through my body, this energy going. And then I discovered this is my path. And then I went to Charles, and then I was blessed to be with a Tantra master for 9 years.
Wait, before you say more about it, we need to know what Tantra is. And we also, I want to say something here. And this Kika's demonstrating it here. And
so vulnerable here talking
yeah,
about
and I
all
wanted
this.
to talk to both the men and the women on this one, but especially for the men, because there's nothing more vulnerable for a woman to offer us than their body. When they're, and so if we don't create a safe space for their head and their heart, it's very hard for them to reveal their body to us and surrender and offer that to us. And we need, it's part of what we're going to talk about in the workshop is how do you create a safe and sacred space?
Yes.
Because most people, Kika's story is definitely more dramatic than a lot of stories, but a lot of women have been through this kind of stuff. And for them even to get back in another relationship is an incredible act of courage.
And let me tell you, even though I was determined to not go through abusive relationships, there was still some abuse going on for a long time because I didn't know how to love myself, how to treat myself the way I treat myself today. And the way I treat myself today, I love myself well. So if somebody around me doesn't love me well, I'm able to notice because I love myself very well. I treat myself with care. And so if somebody doesn't talk to me with respect or doesn't, I notice and I won't allow.
Well, there's a key here. This is one of the secrets we're going to talk about. Intimacy doesn't start in the bedroom. It starts with how you treat each other all day long, and
the relationship with yourself.
Yeah.
And then today, because of that relationship with myself, the men that are in my life are you're an amazing friend and work partner. And it's like the men that are in my life, they're literally serving me as a goddess in a way where I can serve them. I can be there, but it's beautiful, fulfilling relationships that thrive, that create beautiful things. And to come from that to now live amazing relationships, be in amazing relationships in every level of my life, it's an amazing transformation. And I can share these tools with you. And Paul has this amazing magic. We've been working together and having a blast and talking like amazing transformation, like what we both together can bring to people and transform people's lives and transform relationships that are painful or that are not working or not sexual or whatever it is. We can resolve it. And so we say, okay, let's create a course and we are going to help a lot of people at once and not just one by one. And so we feel like we have an amazing gift for you.
Yeah, and it's how do you eliminate the shame, embarrassment, and confusion? Yeah, confusion. We've got both of these Facebook Lives. If you just joined us, we have Kika's here and I'm over there. And so hi, everybody. Oh.
Like, who else is
Marna, Ed, Anna. So you vulnerably revealed yourself. I'm going to reveal myself a little bit.
I want to ask how this Tantra journey started for you. What was the thing that brought you to want to change or to want something new? What was the pain or what was the difficulty you're going
through? Incredible shame. I started, I was also young, not as young as you, but probably about 15 or 16. And I was with a woman, a young girl at that point, and I was young too. So I adored her. And she said, yes, we were going to be intimate. And I lasted about 2 minutes. And that 2 minutes, I spent the next 20 some years trying to make up for that 2 minutes to try to prove that I was okay. And there's not like this school where men can go and go, I only lasted 2 minutes and I'm embarrassed and I want to learn how to do this. So it took over 20 years. I stumbled on the same person that you had stumbled on, a guy named Charles Muir who teaches Tantra, which is basically the art of sacred sexuality. And the interesting thing is, even though I discovered and went to a workshop, at the workshop, I kind of looked and said, well, it's okay for him. He's like this guru. He can do it and all the rest of it. But I can't do it because I'm just a normal guy. And I thought that here's the way I looked at it. I had an older brother that the women loved, and they used to come to talk to me because I was great at giving empathy, but they'd go to have sex with him.
Oh
So
my God. With your brother.
Yeah. And then
oh my God.
when he broke their heart, they would come, and I was the listening object, so some women talk about, I don't want to be a sex object. I was tired of being the listening object because they would come.
Oh, they would work through their issues with your brother.
No, they would get issues with my brother and then talk to me. But basically, I thought that there was people who were born with the skill, like it was an innate talent, a natural skill, that there was the people who were good at making love, and then there was the rest of them. It's like, you think about it, there's people who have good memory and bad memory. On this, think about it. Do you have good memory or bad memory? And we think about it like that's a gift. People are born with good memories or bad memories. But memory is a muscle you can build. And what we want to teach you about this whole thing about becoming better in the bed, it's a skill you can learn and a muscle you can build. And almost anybody, whether, some people go, well, I'm not good looking enough, I'm not in good enough shape, I'm too old. I may not look it. I am one handsome 64 years old. My beloved is 20 years younger than me.
Oh my goodness.
She is 44 years old. And both of us say that this is our best sex life ever.
Wow.
So as I get older, I'm like a good wine. I get better and better, but I'm practicing the tools.
Look at the
and
commercial, ladies. I'm like wine. I love it.
I am in a great relationship. I'm not advertising. So
but I'm like wine. I love it. I love it.
The idea here.
Somebody like us, like the way I feel I can relate to this, like that we get better because with this tools that we know about lovemaking and tantric lovemaking and all these secrets that we know, it's not just about the technique, oh, you touch here, you touch there, but how you touch, what do you feel, what kind of vibration, when to say, what to say, where. I feel like today, Paul, I have the best orgasms every day, and they're not the same. It's not to say like, okay, 10 years ago, I discovered multiple orgasms, or 15 years ago, whatever. And it's not like, oh, I achieve a sexual peak then, and I could have a female ejaculation and all of this orgasms mix and all of that. And oh, okay, this is as good as it gets. And I remember a lover telling me that was very painful. We had a great sex life, but I was like, oh, I want more. And he said, well, this is as good as it gets. It's like the nail in the coffin. Bam, you're dead, like gone. Like, what can I do with this? There's no space to grow, right? So what I realize in my sexuality today is that there is always more. And at 44 years old, and yes, at 40, ladies, yes, it's better. If you don't shut yourself off because you are mad about the past, or because if you really deal with your stuff and allow yourself to open again, it is the best time in your life. But that best time can come anytime, for man, for woman, once we allow ourselves to really to bring the joy again, right? And for me to say, I'm a tantra master, for me to say that I have a better orgasm today than I had before, and it keeps always getting better. I mean, it's shaking, it's like, whatever it is look like. To me, to say that it gets better every time, it's a big statement. Yeah. I don't know if people can relate to that, but it does get better because every day we learn more. And yes, maybe one day I'm too close and then it's not as strong, but that it's always better. And it's amazing.
So I want to I don't want people to think that you have to know this. Right. And there's a huge difference between being a cook and being a chef. And most people, like, I'm a cook when it comes to cooking. I'm not a chef. I haven't been taught what to do in the kitchen, really. I haven't learned all the spices and all the rest of it. And most people, when it comes to the bedroom, they're cooks and they get by and they've had sex when they're horny versus when they feel like making love and going on a love-making date. And so this is what we're teaching, is how to go from being a cook in the bedroom to being a chef, and learning the distinctions, because most men have never been taught how to touch a woman. And we go by Braille and we figure some good stuff out.
But Braille.
But there's a whole nother level that the female body is capable of. Thank you. And guys, most women have not been taught how to touch a man. And
that's true. We just, you know, and then sometimes what I see is a lot of women just want to get prettier and look better, but you gotta keep it. You gotta know how to seduce. And this multi-orgasmic skill that I have, or this ability that I have to take my partner to an ecstatic place, is not a super skill that I have. It's something that I learn and I develop over time. I also not know.
Say that again. I want people to get this.
That I learn. And
you can learn it too. That's the whole essence of this.
Yes.
And you can come from a very, like, I'm sorry, I'm interrupting you, but I want to like take it slow here. You came from a background where someone could like really feel bad about sex and be shut down. And instead, you know, because there's a lot of women that have been through rape, incest, molested, and like, it's scary.
I had great support.
Yeah.
I had great teachers, and I'm so grateful. And I can name so many great teachers and great coaches that have helped me to become who I am today. And I think the way to really get better at anything in life is to have somebody supporting you, but not just that. You know what I tell my clients is like, I am the person you're going to tell me how many times you ejaculate this week. Because if they don't, they keep just like, you know, there's this masturbation to pornography, and it's a huge problem right now. I'm sorry to bring that up. It's okay to watch sometimes, but if you're watching 6 days a week, you have a problem, and we need to address it because it's taking you away from reality. It's causing problems to your brain. So when you have a coach, any addiction you can overcome, any problem you can overcome. It's like having somebody to say, look, this is the way, we're going this way. And that person knows the way. So you don't have to go to different roads and get lost. You get your GPS and you say, okay, I got this. You know, you drive, but you got the support. And that's what a coach does. A coach will hold your hand and guide you to the right direction.
I'm going to give you the 3 M's. Get a mentor. That's what you're just talking about. A mentor that has a method, and you commit to mastery. Why do you study? Like, why do people get a, you know, golf coach? They get coaches for their putting, for their drive, for all the rest of it. If you want to get good at anything, get yourself a coach and then follow the method and commit to mastery and grow with it.
Anything you want to learn, if you are with somebody that has mastered that, then you are in a good path. Otherwise, how long took you? 20 years?
Actually, it took me 20 years to discover my mentor, and it took another 5 years
mastering
to commit to learn from him and follow his method. Like, look back, I wasted 25 years because I was so basically embarrassed and ashamed and confused. I didn't understand it. I didn't understand that I could control whether I climaxed or not, when I climaxed, how powerful it could be, that my partner could have orgasms before even entering her. And, you know, men, there's a lot of issues. There's premature ejaculation, but there's also premature penetration when you enter a woman before her body is actually ready. And another thing we'll talk about is permission, is asking your partner before entering them with your hand or whatever. And I know we dove deep into this stuff. So how do people find out more if they're interested in finding out about what we're going to be doing during these 5 weeks? If they want to take a deep dive into their relationship.
Yeah, but we should give them, we shouldn't, because it's not a compassionate communication thing.
Where would they want to look?
I would like to give you at least a few things you can use now. And one of the things is this whole lovemaking. We want to make it right. We want to honor our partners. And a lot of times it's really, I want to give you at least 3 things. for you to take home today? Does that be
Well,
okay?
wait, before you do that, I want to there's some people that are going to sneak off early. So I want to give them our website so they can go there and then.
So you can go to divinekika.com and get your 10 tantric sex secrets for greater sex and love and intimacy tonight. It's 10 secrets. And what do? You get this 25 minutes. It's an online course, and we will learn the basics of sacred sexuality and get you started. But more than anything, you're entering now in an emailing list that I'm giving so many gifts because I'm launching 4 books. I'm so excited. There's 4 books coming up, and they are all amazing. And I'm doing it all at once. There's this Australian publisher that thinks I'm the best thing in the world. I don't know what happened. I don't know this guy. He just found me. But what I am very excited because I'm publishing it in 5 different countries at once.
Mm-hmm.
And it's awesome. So when you sign up in there, you're going to get all of these gifts because I'll be sending many emails with a lot of value. Like all these emails, they have something you can apply today in your life and make your sex life better.
So
but I want to give you 3 things in this video in a little bit. Okay,
and I'm on the other side. So Tantra for you, Tantra, TANTRA, FORYOU, tantraforyou.com. And I'm going to offer, like on that website, put your name and email in, and there is a 6-page special report on how to set up a safe, sacred space, how to increase your love life, how to improve it. And there's also a video on there that I produced that's been seen by 4.8 million people. 4.8 million people. So that is pretty mind-boggling to me. So if you get on either of our lists, and I hardly mail out anything because I'm so busy with everything I'm doing, you're not going to get a lot of stuff from me.
I haven't emailed people in like, I think 6 months.
Yeah.
Because I'm so busy launching these books.
So you will get a few, and you will get information about the up and coming 5 weeks to become a better lover. And just so you know, what we're going to cover in that is we're going to talk to you about the 5 Ps, and then we're going to go to your keys. But in the 5 weeks, the first week is going to be about possibility. And it's like, what's possible for your relationship? You might not want to be multi-orgasmic. You might, some of the clients that we work with haven't had sex and they've been in a long-term committed relationship. They haven't had sex in a year or 2 or more. And for them, just to have sex again.
Oh, honey, we're together 20 years. We don't need that sex thing anymore. We're fine. So you don't need affection in your life anymore? Is that what you're telling me? Like that those 20 years now turn into a roommate relationship and you are okay with that? Are you ready for something more? Are you ready to actually discover that you deserve to be loved, that you deserve to have pleasure, that you deserve to feel good, and actually allow yourself to feel pleasure and give that gift to your partner? I hear a lot of women, Paul, that says, my sex life doesn't matter anymore. We're good. We're okay. And then their husbands end up in my office and they say, well, I'm so sad. My relationship is not working. And they're looking outside of the relationship, or they develop pornography addiction, or they're getting happy ending massages or something because they're not getting that need fulfilled. And then the woman, they shut off and they're not living a powerful life anymore because guess what? Your sexual energy is the most powerful energy that you have in your body and can ignite the force to every energy center in your body. And I don't want to go too woo-woo here, but when you have an orgasm, what it does to your brain, it's quite significant. And I'm the person that has proof of that. Last year, I was actually having my brain studied by a scientist, and we found that my brain waves are high brain waves in gamma waves, for those of you that understand a little bit. So we measure me having a kundalini orgasm, which is like this high energy. So it's lots of electricity going through my brain. And when somebody has an epileptic attack, what happened is the brain waves get completely discoordinated after. But the brain waves, as you have a kundalini or a high energy going to the body, they kind of look similar. But what happened after that, the brain waves get coordinated and the gamma waves got higher, which means that I have a high level of happiness, like enlightened monks. So this doesn't mean anything to you. Yes, it does. It means that what I do can create a lot more happiness in your life. And all I did is follow these methods, these breathing techniques, this expansion of orgasmic power throughout your body. And these are proven methods that work. I have conducted studies with over 100 men in the last 2 years. I had 300 men go through the course because I'm testing it before I launch. But I had 100 men going to like where I study them, like I analyze them, and I see, like I ask questions, and I see what happened, and I see lives literally transform. And when you transform sexually, you transform in every level. You're more powerful, you're more confident, you're more awake. Everything changes. What changed in you after you got that?
So before you go there, I wanted to ask you, one of the key things that we're right now coming to you live.
We're just saying stuff. We didn't even plan what we were going to say. We're just like mumbling it.
No, we're not. But we are in around San Jose, and some of the people that Kika has been dealing with are some of the powerful executives, and they have, it's like all the things that would look like success.
I work with the highest executives in the Silicon Valley. I've been very blessed to work with amazing men that are fully in their power in their work business relationships.
And the thing that's missing, they have money, they have power, they have beautiful wives, they have success, they have recognition, and there's a gap in their life, and that's that gap of finding satisfaction and intimacy in the bedroom.
And I bring that back into their lives in a beautiful way, where they find it within themselves. They find that power in the relationship, but they find their confidence again. And it's different. Some people, they have a lot of power outside of their homes, or even have a powerful relationship with their wives, but the intimacy, the connection, the love making, or even the ability to ask for what they want in bed, or to satisfy their beloved. I think a man feel really full when they can satisfy their woman fully. And when they learn a few tricks to do that, they're like become this hero. And then they wake up and then they're like, you see the guys with the
happy face.
The happy face.
So that's number one is possibility. That's the first module, is finding out what's possible for you in your relationship to take it to the next level. Number two is we're going to help you get prepared, because if you think about it, Valentine's Day is coming, and you can tell the people that got prepared for Valentine's Day the morning of Valentine's Day, like they bought chocolate and they bought the last roses that were available, and it's like they really didn't prepare at all. And to have amazing lovemaking, you've got to be prepared. You prepare the room, you prepare your head, your heart, your body. The space, the room, like the energy, the vibration. What were you thinking before you entered that room? What were you saying while you're making the bed? All of that matters. And it's simple, right? But the way you cultivate your body, like how you take your shower, and are you taking a shower and say, I am allowing myself to be loved. I'm allowing myself to be touched. I'm allowing myself to feel. And it seems silly, right? But think about how many times you were touched and you didn't feel it, or you didn't allow it, or somehow you were there but you're not there. What would it be like if you actually could be there fully? So that brings us to number three, which is present. You think about one of the greatest aphrodisiacs is a partner that's actually present with you. Think about it, going out on a date with somebody, and here's what a typical date looks like right now. Here, could you and nobody's present. And it's like learning how to be actually present, where you can make eye contact and put your hand on their heart and they're holding your heart. And presence is like one of the most beautiful things. It is the most beautiful gift you can give to another human being. I'm fully here with you. I'm taking you in and I'm absorbing. It's that full, there's nothing beyond that. When you're fully present with anyone you love, it's the most beautiful gift. And so part of that is clearing out a little bit of the past so that you can be present. So that's number 3.
If I look at everybody like I looked at the lovers that abused me, imagine like the relationships that I didn't work out. If my way of looking at life was always being afraid that somebody was going to hurt me again, how could I ever accept love? How could I ever have this awesome partnership to work with and feel safe and allow it? Because then there is like that, what I see, men and women, like they have these stories in their head. Oh, they could hurt me. Oh, that could happen. Oh, but they don't say it. They don't voice it. They don't acknowledge it. So it turns out into defensive. That they are not even aware. Sometimes you're not even aware of the ways that you are defending yourself. So
that brings us to number 4.
What is number 4?
Number 4 is pleasure, and part of what we talked about.
I like that part.
Is it pleasure?
I like the part with the parts.
Pleasure is our birthright. And the problem we have is we have a lot of shame around it. It's almost harder to talk to people about pleasure than it is religion, money, politics, all of that. There's a lot of, in our culture, there's a lot of
My
shame.
vagina? No, we're not going to talk about her.
About any sort of pleasure, what it is you like. And there's actually.
What is?
Yeah. And we're going to get into, there's like 5 different touches, the 5 different tantric touches, 5 different ways to touch your partner, and learning those touches and learning how, like, great lovemaking is like learning a great recipe. And if you have a great recipe, you got to make sure that you put the flour and the eggs in early. You don't cook cake and then put eggs on it.
I love it.
You know,
I love it. So
and
you're going to learn like these ways that, you know what, I was blessed to be lovers with a tantra master for a very long and a long time. And one of the things that he did, he would just like literally touch me with 2 fingers and send electricity to my body. And I had this thing that I was like, my armpit, I was like, this is not an erotic zone. Why you touch me there? Why are you doing anything? Every part of your body could be awake. And I was like, no, it's not. And then 2 weeks later, I'm orgasming in my armpit. And I'm like, what's going on? This is not, doesn't make any sense. So we are going to teach you the secrets to awake your own body and to feel more pleasure. And also the secrets for you to awake your partner's body. Every folding is an erogenous zone. How do you touch it? Like when you're touching up, you're exciting them. When you're touching down, you're putting them to sleep and relax. So there is this ways, there is so many things that you can do that can bring so much more into the bedroom that we should teach it in the schools for little kids. like let's say the 15-year-olds should have tantric education of how to become an amazing lover. And I think so.
I think so. And here's the issue. When they start to
discover sexuality. Like, but they need to be 18. But, like they need to know. We didn't learn. Imagine your life if you learned it at 18.
Oh.
All the disappointments, all the lovers.
It would have been so different. And here's the big issue. Before this, we're doing a little bit of research. Now, get this. These are some numbers to write down. You can go to Google yourself. And it depends on which study.
It's sad, but it's still a reality.
Average lovemaking lasts between 5 to 7 minutes. Like that is like, and I don't know who's there measuring. That it's like
people.
But here's the problem. The average female, it takes between 23 minutes to 27 minutes to orgasm. And the average lovemaking is over somewhere between 5 to 7 minutes. Can you see that there's a problem here? There is this huge gap. And until us men, or if it's a lesbian relationship, whatever, it doesn't matter, but it's
any kind. It's awakening a body.
Right.
Bodies.
And
bodies
learn
together.
How to go from that 7 minutes to at least the 27 minutes, so that your partner.
We're going for an hour, babe.
Yes.
We're going for an hour. I don't want any less than that. Like, no, less than that, I'm not interested. Sorry.
So we're going to go gradual, because some of you are going to hear an hour and you're going to go, cool.
I don't have time for that.
Yeah, and others are going to go.
Oh, there's this thing,
yes.
that I noticed, and this is interesting for you. I noticed that people, they have this thing where, well, I don't want to have sex for that long, or I'm too tired to have sex, right? But the thing is, sex, love making can be recharging, can be energizing, can be healing, can be awakening. So let's say you're going to sleep, and that was so beautiful. I just had it last night. My lovely boyfriend. I'm so blessed. I have this amazing French boyfriend now. I'm so blessed. So he's so excited because he learned how to give me massage in like this tantric way, and he's very excited about it. And I'm like, and I'm so tired, and I'm like, I'm totally exhausted. Like I had a long day, and little by little, I felt my body being awoke. And I started to orgasm. And then instead of feeling tired, I started to feel energized, alive, happy. And all of a sudden, like my body was awake. And that whole experience enlivened me, awoke me, and I had a better sleep. Rather than say, oh, I'm too tired and I don't want to do it now, which a lot of us do. A lot of people do that. And a lot of people, they come to my office and say, oh, my husband, my wife doesn't want to do it. She's always tired, or he's always tired. If we could discover that sex can actually be energizing and healing and enlivening and awakening creativity, awakening love, it's not like, come and practice making love, practice loving your partner, practice being with them, and practice sharing the most beautiful part of yourself with them. Couples, when they make love more, they're celebrating the love they already experience. So if the love making is not there, it's because some part of the love is in trouble. So if you learn that celebration, and that's what we want to teach you.
Yeah, and tying into this and tying back into that 7 minutes to 27 minutes, one of the greatest gifts
do you want to feel good?
the feminine can give the masculine is your pleasure. And one of the greatest crimes, and again, if you check, one of the studies we found on Google was 80% of the women have faked orgasms.
Now that is a serious issue, because women orgasm, here is the thing that I feel sad that most men don't know. Do you want to know what that is?
What is it?
When not every time I orgasm, every man on the planet can feel. No, that's not that.
Well, that's a powerful orgasm. That really is good. It's like, wow.
No, when a woman orgasms, if they do the tantric practices, what happens is when she orgasms, he can actually experience her orgasm through his body. And most men, they don't get to develop themselves enough, because there's various techniques. One is like learning and having control of ejaculation, and then choosing when and if they want to ejaculate, and so on. And I'm just launching a course on all of that, so you can become the multi-orgasmic male. And yes, men can be multi-orgasmic. It is true. I have seen it.
I'll translate that. It means multiple orgasm. Multi, that's Portuguese. Multi.
I am Brazilian, so it comes with the territory. So what I want to say is that sex can be energizing, can be enlivening. When a woman orgasms, the men can feel it. The woman, when they open themselves up, and I understand, ladies, sometimes we just shut down, we are sad, upset, or whatever is going on. But when we are open and when we receive the love, now here's the problem. If you're going to bother me to poke me for 7 minutes and go to sleep, this is a thing. Now, can we be honest here?
Yeah.
Sometimes the guy comes home, he's stressed from work, he just want to get one off so he can go to sleep. What is he doing? He's dumping his stress on her. Who wants that? No wonder she said no. Now, you want to know why she says no? We have the secrets, and we will reveal it to you. But keep that in mind. Like, what are you bringing to your love making? Are you cleaning your presence? Are you taking a deep breath and say, hey, consciously saying, I'm letting go of my day and I'm devoting my time to be with my partner and opening myself so I can feel pleasure, give pleasure, because when I feel pleasure, my partner feel pleasure, men and women. So, men and woman, whatever you choose the bodies to be with, when you choose to feel pleasure, you're giving your partner a gift. But the idea is that when I'm touching my partner, it's pleasurable for me to touch my partner as much as it's pleasurable to receive. So if we could change some of these concepts for you, and we're just giving like a glimpse, right? Or the possibilities of lovemaking, or the possibilities of your body. And I think it's a shame, Paul, that most human beings will never know the secrets that most men and women know about great lovemaking. And the tantrics in ancient times, they reveal it to us so beautifully. And what I did with my work, I translate all of this ancient texts and all of this complicated into what the modern human being needs. What the modern human being needs to have a great relationship, to have a great sexuality, using these secrets. So
now we're on to number 5. So number 1 was possibility. So what's possible for your relationship? And that's what you were just also talking about. What's possible? Most people have no idea. I had no idea what was possible for me and my partners. Number 2 was about getting prepared. Number 3 was, how do you get present and connected to the person and let go of the stuff in life so that when you're there, you're fully there. Number 4 was about pleasure. And number 5 is about passion. And how do you experience and bring passion? So those are the things that we're going to talk about. And it's like, how do you go from having your partner go, no thanks, not interested, to, oh my God, can we do that again? So if that interests you, we're going to kind of wrap it up. And
so I'm going to write down here in the link below in the comments when we turn off, the way you can get my free gift. And once you get in my mailing list, we will be sending to you the information about 5 weeks to become a better lover. And Paul has this amazing, Paul is an amazing teacher, you know. Like, I was looking into his website before we start to work together. I'm like, wow, he's so cool. Like, he has such a great way with communication. Paul is just an amazing teacher. Like, I'm so grateful that we're doing this work together. I feel like this is such a healthy relationship, guys. Like, we're friends, but it's just a beautiful friendship. It's a beautiful, supportive,
mutual admiration, because
respect,
the books. And what I love about what Kika has done is she's focused a lot on helping men, and it just honors me that a divine goddess is helping my brothers have a better love life and discover what's capable, because a lot of men get a bad rap. They're only interested in sex, and a lot of times they settle for marginal sex. It's like a lot of women think just because the men climaxed that it was good sex, and it's not. It's often very marginal. And it's like, how do we elevate it so that if you're in a loving relationship, you don't have to settle for boring sex?
I want to change some of this culture that there's some of my sisters are saying that men are healing, men are evolving, men are becoming better, men are learning how to love better, and men are aware that they are changing and growing and evolving. And I think men are beautiful, and the way I have them in my life, it's beautiful and sacred. And who in the path of love and intimacy haven't been scarred or hurt? And I'm not saying that I only had roses in my life, but what I'm saying is there is another way. I don't want my teenager son that is 17 now growing think that men are bad. I actually want to create a world where men are amazing and women are amazing, and we thrive together without this whole idea that men are bad. I think men are evolving into in a beautiful era where we are all consciously loving each other in the most beautiful, exquisite way.
Can you enter, like we have two different, we're both doing Facebook Lives. Can you enter your
It means I have to go
website
here.
And then we'll do it on yours
guys,
too.
Like, I've been kind of like turning my face here and there. So because we have two computers in front of us. So I'm going to put my website on your divinekika.com, and I have 10 tantric sex secrets for greater sex, love, and intimacy tonight for you. And it's really, I say tonight because it's an easy little mini online course. And I'm entering, so it's divinekika.com. You just go there and sign up. And
now
you
enter
guys
it on
already
there,
know it.
and I'll put mine on.
Make sure I have your email there, because then we will send you stuff
So
like
where
we're talking
is-
today, but
Oops.
more precise. We won't take so long. There will be a short little video, which like one tip today, one tip tomorrow, or secrets, or
Can you put my website there? I can't
would
see.
you? Let's see.
I don't know where it is.
I think we'll do it in a Divine Kika. Divine.com,
So
and then
wrapping it up,
pop. Yeah, now you can enter it.
I can.
I think so.
I don't see it.
So, guys, like, type in your questions if you have anything that you want us to say right now, or like something or comments. Let us know.
What served you? What did you learn from what we just covered? And so, in summary, it's the 5 weeks to become a better lover. We'll cover, as I just said a minute
only
ago,
5 weeks.
5 weeks.
Yes, because it took you 20 years, took me over my whole life. Like, but for the last 15 years, I've been studying and eating everything that is Tantra and making this world, and I've been teaching and working with so many people. So, and Paul, you've been doing it way longer than me.
Mm-hmm.
How long have
26 years. And I am a relationship and intimacy coach, and I've taught all around the world. I have a best-selling book, Argue Less, Love More. You can find it on Amazon. And what I'm most proud about that is that book became a bestseller with therapists and counselors and married couples and regular other couples.
It's a great little book. It's easy to read. It's has amazing tools. I think every couple should have that beside their beds and pull it up when they have a problem and literally look through it, like how to resolve a conflict. And my little ebook that is coming out, 10 Tantric Sex for Greater Sex and Intimacy, is the only one out right now, but I have 4 coming. They're coming, but not too soon. Soon.
So thank you. And again, if you want information, you're going to go to divinekika.com or tantraforyou.com, and actually go to both of them, get both the reports from us, because they both are helpful in different ways. And hopefully we'll see you in it. Probably going to be about 4 weeks from now that we actually.
Yeah, well, you'll be seeing us, because we'll be hanging out often, and we'll show up to you. What I do to you, because your
what
audience
I do to you.
What I do. I'll go first. I help you to master your sexuality and self-awareness, so you can live a life of love, power, and freedom while enjoying fulfilling relationships. That's what I do. And that's what I've been doing for 15 years. I help you to have this amazing love, sex life, and to have amazing relationships, not just in your romantic life, but in all areas of your life. Because once you learn to communicate and ask for what you want and ask for what you need, and be able to be present and compassionate, all of those things, it all works like magic in every relationship. And Paul is a master at that, like in relationship and in communication. And I think us together, it makes it such a powerful, because it's like
the masculine, feminine. So,
yeah.
So what I do is I help people spend less time arguing in the therapist's office and more time enjoying each other in the bedroom.
I love that.
So you can message either one of us if you have questions for our next Facebook Live, because we're going to be doing a couple of these before we actually do the event. And then we'll be doing a webinar soon.
The webinar will be fun.
Yeah.
You will learn a lot just on that webinar alone. And the best news is that webinar will be free for a start.
Yeah. The 5 weeks will not be free.
But the webinar will be free. And if you feel like you learned something, or you got started with something that you want to learn more in this video, you can only imagine that the webinar will be a lot better.
And our request is, if you got something out of this, Put a little comment, share it, share the video, share it with friends, share it on your website, share it with people, share the love. Say it forward. Thank you very much. Okay, are you gonna ready?
And your like means a lot, you know.
Oh,
like it. Just push like.
Or love it.
I love it. I like it. It was
Press,
funny. Something.
Press the like.
There.
Okay. Ready? Oh, there we go.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Look
at that.
So good. Like,
Wow.
oh, thank you.
Thank you. Okay,
Thank
you ready?
You for the love. Yes. Love on. This month is love month, so there'll be a lot more. I invite you to read my posts. I've been posting very good stuff. You can learn a lot on my post this month, because every day I'm making a point to post very powerful teachings for you. So just read my posts. Mwah.
Ciao.
Ciao.